press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello my dear students, we had started with the chapter climate, right? So we did discuss about what actually climate is, how climate differs. Yesterday we did in the previous class, okay, like we did discuss about how the climate changes, on what basis the climate keeps changing, right? What influences, right, how the climate gets influenced with various factors there. So we did discuss about that, right? So today let us see the onset of the monsoon and withdrawal. So in the previous class we have discussed about the mechanism to be understood in the monsoon, or say like what actually is the jet stream, how it works. So all those things we did discuss, right? So what actually happens. So today let us know about the onset of the monsoon and withdrawal. So you can see in the picture, okay, if you can make out in the picture, there is something called summer monsoon winds and there is another thing that is winter monsoon winds. So the kinds, you can see how it changes, okay, like the things that has changed, how it differs and all you can see there, right? So the monsoon, like unlike the trade winds or set rates, okay, it is not steady wind. Okay, do remember this, monsoon is not a steady wind, but it keeps pulsating, okay, in nature, and it is affected by different kinds of atmospheric conditions. All the conditions, okay, related to the atmosphere, okay, that actually influences these monsoon winds. Okay, unlike the trade winds, this monsoon winds is totally like pulsating. Okay, and like it is encountered with all the different atmospheric conditions while it is traveling. Okay, so like over the tropical seas, while it is traveling, it is influenced by these atmospheric conditions there. Okay, so the duration of the monsoon is between, as you all know, like it is almost for 3 long months, right, or 4 long months. Yes, it is 4, right? June, July, August, September, like 4 long months it takes, right? Yes. So almost it is considered to be 120 days here, okay, approximately 120 days. So it lasts for this, or it lies between this 4 months. So around the time, like when it comes to this or its arrival, okay, of this particular arrival, the normal rainfall increases suddenly. Okay, the rainfall keeps increasing, like all of a sudden it increases suddenly and continuously it will be there constantly for several years. It continues for several years there, and it is known as burst of the monsoon. Okay, we call it as burst of the monsoon and can be distinguished from the pre-monsoon showers. Okay, the pre-monsoon, you have this Mungaru Male and Hingaru Male, right? So this is something called, not the movie, okay, it is like something pre-monsoon showers. Before to that, there is something called as burst. Okay, so we can distinguish it. Okay, so that is the difference you can consider here. So the next thing is, see the, you can see the picture here, onset of monsoon, how it keeps changing. So, you can make out with the lines that has been drawn here, okay, 15th July, then, like 1st July, 15th June, all those things you can just go through the dates and even the timings there. Okay, so that you can check. Okay, fine. So when it comes to this, the monsoon, okay, as it arrives at the southern tip, okay, it starts with the southern tip here, okay, you can check it here. So it starts with the southern tip of the Indian peninsula, and generally by the first week of June it keeps starting. So you can see in the picture here, right, the lines, okay, it starts with the June itself, and it proceeds towards the Arabian Sea branch, and like it proceeds into two, that is the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. Okay, as you all know, Arabian Sea comes here, like towards the here, okay, you can see the Arabian Sea here, and then comes the Bay of Bengal itself, okay, here. Okay, so it emerges there, like it proceeds into two. Okay, the wind, the actual the monsoon, it splits into two things. The Arabian Sea, it branches, okay, it reaches towards the Mumbai about 10 days later on, approximately on 10th of June. You can check it here, you can see, right, in the picture here, okay, 10th June. So it is towards the Mumbai, okay, like from Arabian Sea it is traveling towards Mumbai, okay, and like further it moves. So this is fairly rapid advance, okay, it is like fairly totally rapid advance here. And the Bay of Bengal, it also advances rapidly, okay, it arrives Assam in the first week of June. So you can see here, okay, like 1st of June you can see here, see. So from Bay of Bengal, Okay, like 1st of June, it is traveling towards Assam here. Okay, you can see that, see the picture. Okay, the lovely, like the mountains, what it causes, like the monsoon winds to deflect towards the west over the Ganga plains. By mid-June, the Arabian Sea branch of the monsoon arrives over Saurashtra, that is Kutch, and the central part of the country. So you can see the different dates here, right? So first it goes to the Maharashtra, this, like then it changes, so it keeps moving towards the, like Kutch, okay, that is Gujarat here, okay, so it keeps changing. So that is how the winds travel there. Okay, so the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal branches of monsoon merge over the northwestern part of the Ganga plains. Okay, so that happens here. Next, Delhi generally receives the monsoon showers from the Bay of Bengal. Okay, as you can see in the picture, so like it is from the Bay of Bengal, you will be like it will be given. Okay, like from Bay of Bengal it is given. Okay, so by the end of June, tentative dates they are taking. You can see here. See, like when it comes to Delhi here, yes, it is taken as July here. Okay, so tentative date that has been taken here. So by the first week of July, you can see that the western that is Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, and eastern Rajasthan experiences the monsoon. So all these places here, okay, nearby Delhi. So all these places here, it actually gets the monsoon there. It feels the rainfall there. Okay. So next is by mid-July, the monsoon reaches the Himachal Pradesh and the rest of the country. So withdrawal of this retreat of the monsoon is a more gradual process here, and the withdrawal of monsoon begins in northwestern states of India by early September. So withdrawal, nothing but it has to grow less and less, right? So by September, it keeps on moving, like it gradually becomes very less. Okay, you can experience the monsoon that it is growing down, nothing but it is gradually decreasing. So by mid-October, it withdraws completely. Okay, that too from northwest. Okay, like northern parts. If you consider the northern half of the peninsula, by mid of the October, it totally like vanishes from there. So the withdrawal from the southern half of the peninsula is fairly rapid in nature, and by early December, the monsoon has withdrawn from the rest of the country. Okay, by early December. Okay, if you consider the early December, the monsoon it withdraws. Okay, it gets withdrawn from the rest of the nation, and the islands here receive the very first monsoon showers once it gets displayed. Okay, once it see from India, it is like totally vanishing, right? Then it would be the islands. Okay, like the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and all, right? Lakshadweep Islands and all, like so those experiences the monsoon there. Okay, so the island received the very first monsoon showers progressively from south to north. Okay, from south to the north, and yes, from the last week of April to the first week of May, and the withdrawal takes place from north to south from the first week of December till January. It grows very less. So by this time, the rest of the country is already under the influence of the winter monsoon. Obviously, like when the rainy season is experienced by the islands, we will be experiencing the winter season. Now that is going on, right? Yes. So let us know the seasons. You have already been knowing, or you have understood many a times, from your childhood you have been learning there are 4 seasons, the summer, the winter, the rainy, all those things you have been learning, right? Yes. So let us know the character, like how it is characterized. So is there any particular seasonal pattern? Okay, let us know about those things. The monsoon type of climate, it is characterized by a distinct seasonal pattern. Okay, there is a seasonal pattern for this particular thing. Let us know what is the pattern, how the pattern, like how it is gaining its importance. So the weather condition greatly change from one season to another. Do you feel the same whole year? Do you experience the same kind of weather whole year? No, right? Once you will be feeling very cold, like nowadays you are feeling that, right? You feel very cold, the weather is very cold, the atmosphere is totally filled with, like the fog and all, right? You enjoy the morning cold, like cool weather, etc., right? So after few days you will be experiencing hot weather, right? So now from one season to another, there are lots of differences, right? So one day you like when it comes to a particular month, okay, like see how the weather is divided among these 12 months itself, right? So at one particular time you feel like wearing all the sweaters, the shawl, everything you want to wear, which can keep you warm. And there are seasons wherein you feel like wearing all the light clothing, okay, to avoid the heat, right? All those things do happen. So these changes are noticeable because of the interior parts of the nation, okay, within the noticeable, it is very much noticeable, okay. At one particular time you will be feeling very cold, at one particular time you feel very hot, one time you feel the you can experience the rain, right? All these things to happen, it's because of the interior changes, like everywhere it is similar. So like there are like variations when it comes to rainfall pattern. The coastal areas do not experience much variation when it comes to the temperature. You cannot find much variations there, okay, the coastal areas especially, okay, that lies towards the sea, or say that is attaching the ocean, okay, all those coastal areas, coast, okay, so those areas will never experiences the variation there. So there are four main seasons which is identified in India, okay, like we speak about our country, like definitely it is only in India. So it is the cold weather, okay, which we call it as winter season, the hot weather which we call it as the summer, okay, the advancing monsoon, or say we call it as the rainy season, and the last one, like retreating with some regional variation, retreating monsoon, okay, we call it as retreating monsoon. See in the picture you can see the cold weather, see how the winter comes, okay, totally like a snowfall. No doubt here it is very less, but yes, when you go to Delhi and all, definitely not the exact like snowfall. So you can feel the cold weather there, okay, not this much of snowfall. That is experienced in foreign nations, okay. Yes, the cold weather season, it begins from November. So from last month it has started, right? And we are experiencing it now, cold weather. Not much cold, but even then comparatively, like from if at all June and all, you see like we could see there was heavy rainfall and all, right? So now you can experience the cold weather. And December and January are the coldest months. So when it comes to northern part of India, okay, not in south is like totally like we can manage. But if you go to Kerala and all, definitely again there you can find, or there you can feel the cold, okay, like you can feel that much, like yes, it is totally cold and all, okay. So if you are going towards northern part, yes, during December and January you can feel it is too cold there, okay. So the temperature starts decreasing from south to the north, okay. If you consider the India map, from south to the north it starts decreasing, the temperature is decreasing, okay, it is not increasing, it is totally decreasing. That's the reason we can feel the northern part as too cold compared to the south part, okay. So like days are warm and nights are very cold. So frost is very common in the north part, and you have this higher slopes of Himalayas, there they experience the snowfall. So you can go there to check, okay, like Himalayas, totally you can feel the snowfall there. But rest of the places you can see that yes, it is like warm, morning you can feel the warmness, and after that the nights are very cold. So during this season, the northeast trade winds, okay, the northeast trade winds, it prevails over the country, and they blow from land to sea, and hence for most of the part of the country it is dry season, okay, like during this season, okay, during this particular cold that is winter season, the northeast trade winds, okay, it prevails over the country, totally like cold winter you can actually experience that, and they blow from land to sea, okay, from land it blows towards the sea, and hence like for most part of the country it is a very dry season, okay. So due to these winds, there will be a rainfall on the Tamil Nadu coast as they blow from sea to land. So as the wind, okay, like it moves from sea to land, the wind is blowing, right? So a few of the places they do experience the rain there, okay, because of the cold reason, like cold weather, and the wind mixes up there. So a few of the places that will, especially in Tamil Nadu or say even in Kerala, they can experience, or they do experience the rainfall there. Okay, so when it comes to northern part of the nation, okay, we can see the feeble like a high pressure region, it develops with light winds moving towards from the area, and it is influenced by the relief, that is the winds do blow through the Ganga valley from the west and even the northwest. So from west, like if you are considering the India map, from west it starts blowing, and even from the northwest. Okay, so that is how like see, from west and northwest. Okay, if you consider this from here and here, it blows towards the Ganga valley. So the weather is normally marked by clear sky. Okay, so it depends. If you have a clear sky and all, then definitely that can be marked there with low temperatures and even low humidity and feeble variable winds. Okay, the winds like it keeps changing. It is very feeble in nature. So the characteristic feature of the cold weather season over the northern plains is the inflow of cyclonic disturbances from the west and the northwest. Okay, from here, from west, okay, and northwest. Okay, you can see the lines there, right? So those causes, okay, those are the one which actually causes this winter season. Okay, and that actually influences, those are the cyclonic disturbances which actually influences and because of that itself they feel the cold weather. And there will be like the low pressure system, so it originates from the Mediterranean Sea and Western Asia and move into India along with the westerly flow, and they cause the like needed winter rains. Okay, if at all there are few crops which has to grow, okay, during which grows during the winter, and they actually need this rain. Okay, they actually need the rain, but yes, they need even the cool temperature. So that's the reason they cause the much needed winter rains here over the plains, and even snowfall can be seen in the mountains. And although the total amount of winter rainfall locally is known as Mahavat. Okay, it is known as Mahavat, and it is like is small. They are like immense importance for the cultivation of Rabi crops. So Rabi crops, as you all know, like it takes place in the like winter, right? So it actually needs this light rainfall, slight rainfall. Okay, not much heavy rainfall, which is which happens during this June to September. So that's the reason, like when it comes to this winter rainfall, this is because of the low pressure which has come from the Mediterranean Sea and Western Asia, which blows, and like this there is this rainfall. And the peninsular region, okay, as you all know, like it does not have a well defined cold season, and it is hardly noticeable when it comes to seasonal change in temperature pattern. And during winters, due to the moderating influence of the sea, you can feel there are differences. Okay. So the next one is summer season. Obviously, when it is totally heat temperature, like very hot temperature, where do you go? You would like to go to the rivers, the beaches, right? You would like to enjoy there, right? You want to play in water, so right? So you experience those things, right? So when it comes to the weather, like summer season, let us know about the detailed study of weather. Okay, so due to the like apparent northward or say movement of the sun, okay, as you have said, like when it comes to the globe, the sun rays falls unequal. It is not equal in nature, right? So the northward movement of the sun, okay, the global heat belt, okay, it shifts northward. Therefore, you can experience hot weather during March to May. Okay, March, April, May. So these are the 3 months wherein you can experience that there is totally like a hot summer, right? Yes. So the influence of the shifting of this, okay, sunlight, that is the heat belt, it can be clearly seen from the temperature recordings that can be taken, okay, from March to May. The belt, as it keeps moving, like the temperature keeps changing, right? So that can be recorded very easily. So in March you can experience the highest temperature, that is about 38 degrees Celsius, that too in Deccan Plateau. And in April you can experience that in Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh, that would be 42 degrees Celsius, and May 45 degrees Celsius, that to northwestern parts of the nation. So this is the most highly experienced this temperature here. See, 38 degrees Celsius. Sometimes when it is 27 itself, we cannot withstand that particular heat, right? So imagine about this this much of heat there. Okay, so in peninsular India, like temperature remains lower due to the moderating influence of the oceans, and the summer months experience rising temperature and falling air pressure in the northern part of the country. So you can experience both, like hot summer and the cold winter. So towards the end of May, you can see there would be a low pressure area developing in the region extending from the Thar desert in the northwest to the Patna and Chota Nagpur plateau in the east and southeast. Okay, so that is how the hot weather is carried. So if you can check in the picture, yes, so if you see the picture here, see, how the temperature, maximum temperature, and I'm like nothing but in a year, like how it is not the exact temperature, okay, it is just a sketch we can consider here. So the circulation of air, okay, it keeps, air begins to set in around this trough, okay. A striking feature of the hot weather season is called as the loo, okay, we call it as loo, and these are very strong, very gusty, hot, dry winds that blows during the day over the north and northwestern India. So here this area experiences that north and northwest. Okay, like totally you can feel the gusty and strong wind there. So sometimes they even continue until late in the evening, and direct exposure to these winds may even prove to be a fatal. Okay, like accident. So dust storms are very common, that too during the month of May in northern India, and these storms, okay, they bring a temporary relief, okay, as they lower the temperature and may bring even light rain and cool breeze. So the dust storm is very common when it comes to North Indian places. Okay, if you consider this North Indian places, there you can find the dust storms there, and these storms actually it lowers the temperature and bringing even rainfall there. Okay, and even this is for localized thunderstorms, which is very violent in nature. Okay, the thunderstorm that is experienced in the northern part, it is totally like very dangerous, not dangerous actually, it is like totally violent in nature. So when it comes to West Bengal, these storms are known as Kal Baisakhi. You might have heard about people celebrating that Kal Baisakhi, right? Baisakhi, they have that festival there. Towards the close of the summer season, pre-monsoon showers are commonly is experienced, especially in Kerala and Karnataka, and they help in ripening of mangoes. Everybody loves mangoes, right? So we can call it as mango showers. Okay, we call, especially when it comes to Karnataka and Kerala, we can experience the cold pre-monsoon showers, and that is necessary for the mangoes to ripen early. Okay, so that is called as mango showers. So the next one is rainy season. Everybody loves rain, right? Yes, you want to play in rainwater, you want to enjoy the atmosphere, provided there won't be any dirty roads, and it should not be dirty, right? Yes, dirty water you don't like, all the drainage covering up, like all the you can't even make the difference which water, where is the drainage and where is the good water and all, right? Yes, you can see the picture here, see the rainfall. So every person loves to enjoy the rain, right? Every person actually enjoys the rain. Yes, so when it comes to rainy season, usually it is experienced in the month of, it starts with June, right? So when it comes to advancing monsoon, it is by early June, the low pressure condition over the northern plains, it intensifies and it attracts the trade winds of the southern hemisphere, and these southeast trade winds originate over the warm subtropical, as we have learned this tropical and subtropical, right? So when it comes to subtropical areas of the southern oceans, okay, it actually originates from the subtropical area and it crosses the equator. Okay, you have a equator, right, which cuts the earth into two equal parts. So it is they cross the equator and blow in a southwesterly direction, entering Indian peninsula as the southwest monsoon. Okay, and these winds, they blow over warm oceans. Okay, they actually blow over the warm oceans and they bring abundant moisture. Okay, they bring totally the moist area, the moist content. Okay, they carry all this moist content, and they bring the moisture to the subcontinent, and these winds are very strong and they blow at a speed of, okay, average, it is just an average speed that is 30 km per hour. Okay, with the exception here, okay, with the exception of the extreme northwest, the monsoon winds cover the country in about a month. Okay, it covers within a month. Okay, the inflow of the southwest monsoon into India brings about a total change in the weather here. And early in the season, the windward side of the Western Ghats, it receives very heavy rainfall. See, as the wind changes its direction, Okay, like few of the like as it arrives towards other section of the part, what happens? So they start experiencing heavy rainfall there. So Western Ghats, okay, early in the season, what happens? The windward side of the Western Ghats, it receives very heavy rainfall, even like almost 250 centimeter. So the Deccan Plateau and even the parts of Madhya Pradesh, they also receive some amount of rain there in spite of lying, okay, in the rain shadow area. So you see again like the rainy season, how the water gets filled up, and even you can see the mountains and all totally you see this is actually the rain, this like gushing, okay, like you can see how it happens, right? So the maximum rainfall of this season is received in the northwestern part of the country. So the now northwest area, it experiences this rain, okay. And Mawson Ram in the southern ranges of the Khasi Hills, it receives the highest average rainfall, that too in Ganga Valley, okay, from east to the west, okay. See, it comes like this. If you are considering India map, so from east to the west, it moves, okay. So like each and every place experiences the rainfall because of the wind, okay. So Rajasthan and parts of Gujarat, they get scanty rainfall, so not much rainfall there. So another phenomena associated with the monsoon in its tendency is to have breaks in rainfall, okay. Thus it has very wet and dry spells there, okay. And the monsoon here, okay, the monsoon rain, it takes place only for a few days. It is not for a prolonged time, but it is experienced only for few days at a particular time, and they are interspersed here, okay, with rainless intervals. And these breaks in monsoon are related to the movement of the monsoon trough. See, as I told you, the trough has to move, right? So, like, as the winds are moving, like, they obviously take a break and all this. So, slowly they'll be moving. So, because of which, there will be lots of break experienced here. Okay, so for various reasons, you can see the trough and its axis keep on moving northward or say the southward, and it determines the spatial disturbance of rainfall there. Okay, so advancing monsoon. So in the picture itself, you can see here, okay, so when it comes to the picture, you can totally experience like how the rainfall, the monsoon trough to the south of normal position, how it is happening. So you can see the arrow marks. You can see how the trough is it is changing from here, it is from downward, okay, that is from the Western Ghats, it is moving towards the upwards, right? So that is how they experience the monsoon there. So it is like advancing monsoon, which is considered to be the rainy season here. So like when the axis of the monsoon trough lies over the plains, rainfall is good in these parts. See, when the trough is there, they do experience lot of rainfall, and as it is moving, okay, as the trough changes its position there, the places where it moves will be experiencing the heavy rainfall. So when it comes to the other, on the other hand, like when it comes to this, so whenever the axis, okay, shifts closer to the Himalayas, there are longer dry spells in the plains and widespread rain occur in the mountainous catchment areas of the Himalayan rivers. So you can experience, see, these people do like, or there will be totally like catchment areas of the Himalayan rivers, okay, like on the other hand, these things to happen, like as the trough keeps on moving, there will be dry spells that is experienced in the Himalayas, okay. So these heavy rainfall, okay, these heavy rains, they bring in their wake here devastating floods. So obviously everybody knows what happens if at all the trough keeps moving, and there will be heavy rainfall that is experienced. So definitely what happens, the land there, okay, the place there would be totally flooded, right? And the people will lose their property, they lose their life, right? That all those things are possible there. So because of which there will be damage of life and property, right? It is like they experience these things because of the flood itself, because of more and more rainfall, these things are experienced. So when it comes to this, okay, like the frequency and intensity of this tropical depressions, okay, because of even these things, they determine the amount and duration of monsoon winds, okay, like monsoon rains, how the rain it occurs, whether it is because of the particular wind. So these the frequency, nothing but the frequent change of trough. So that with that changes, even the duration, the amount of rainfall and duration of rainfall is fixed. Okay, so like these depressions that form at the that is formed at the head of the Bay of Bengal and it crosses over the mainland. The depression follow the axis of monsoon trough of low pressure. With low pressure, the wind, see the trough, it has to move from one, it has to change, right? So while these things are happening, definitely the frequency of rainfall, how much rain is needed, so all those things can be experienced. Now the monsoon, it is known for its uncertainties. Obviously we cannot see, sometimes it rains very heavy, sometimes it doesn't rain, and all of a sudden very morning you'll be having the summer, hot summer, and all of a sudden in the evening it starts raining, right? So it is uncertain. We cannot say that yes, it is having a fixed time for the rainfall. We cannot determine that. Okay, so the alteration of dry and wet spells vary in intensity, frequency, and even the duration, and it causes heavy floods in one part, and even it may be responsible for drought in the other. Nothing but see, sometimes there will be heavy rainfall. As I told you, the frequency keeps changing, right? So because of those frequencies, there will be heavy rainfall sometimes, and sometimes there will be totally drought. So nothing but flood. Sometimes it they experience the flood, sometimes it will be the drought there. So it is often irregular in its arrival and its retreat. So sometimes it disturbs the farming schedule of millions of farmers all over the country. So it sometimes disturbs the farming also, because see, sometimes they need a rainfall, and if there is no rain, definitely there will be the loss of the crop, right? And sometimes they really don't need much rainfall. But if at all it rains very heavy, there will be flood, right? So because of which it would be the farmer who will be really facing the problem. So next is retreating or post-monsoon. What happens post-monsoon? So retreating monsoon we call it as, okay, the transition season. Then another name we call it as the transition season. Now it is like totally we have experienced the rainfall. Then what next? So during October and November, with the apparent movement of the sun that is towards the south, the monsoon trough or the low pressure trough over the northern plains becomes weaker. So as during the summer, okay, like if you are considering during the summer, what happens, during October and November, what happens, the movement of the sun, okay, it moves towards the south. Okay, so what happens, the monsoon trough that is present here over the northern plains, it becomes very totally weak. Okay, it starts becoming weaker, and it is replaced by a high pressure system. So because of the change of trough from the north plains, okay, because of that trough moving, there will be experience of high pressure system. And the southwest monsoon winds, it gets weakened and start withdrawing gradually. So as the southwest, it starts moving, right? So you can see the the lines over there. So a few lines you can see, right? Yes. So because of those things, it keeps moving, right? So because of that, what happens? The rain starts gradually becoming very less. So by the beginning of the October, the monsoon withdraws from the northern plains. So from north plains, again from the northern plains, the movement, the monsoon, okay, it starts withdrawing. So the months of October to November form a period of transition from hot rainy season to dry winter season. So now there will be a shift from very rainy season towards the winter season. So that will be the transition there. So the retreat of the monsoon, it is marked by clear skies. Okay, the total very because the sky will be totally filled up, cloudy, right? So when during the rainy season, you can experience this, right? Yes. So once this rainy season starts, declining, you can see the clear sky there, right? You can experience the clear sky and even rise in temperature. You can experience that, yes, the temperature is rising now. So while day, temperatures are very high, nights are very cool. Now the same thing is happening, right? Days are very hot, and the nights are very cold. So very much cold. You can experience the cold there, right? Cool weather, and even when it is very pleasant. So morning, now itself you can experience, right? The morning you are having this hot weather, and once it starts becoming the night shades, it comes, night arrives. So it will be like totally cool weather, right? Yes, definitely it is pleasant, no doubt it is pleasant. Yes, the land is still moist, and owing to the conditions of high temperature and humidity, the weather becomes rather oppressive during the day, and this is commonly known as October heat. So that we consider it as October heat. Now let us know about the post-monsoon, that is the retreating again, the further things. So in the second half of the October, the mercury begins to fall rapidly. Okay, so nothing but the temperature starts falling rapidly in the northern India, and the low pressure conditions over northwestern India, it gets transferred to the Bay of Bengal by early November. Nothing but, okay, from here it starts moving towards the Bay of Bengal. Okay, so it gradually moves there. So this shift is associated with the cyclonic depressions. Okay, there are chances of cyclonic depressions. Actually this particular thing, it originates over the Andaman Sea, and the cyclones generally cross the eastern coast of India, cause heavy rain and widespread rain. Okay, so recently we did experience, right? The weather was so cold and totally it was actually the dead weather we can call, right? So because of the cyclonic depressions itself. So recently we did experience that, right? In Bangalore and all, there were heavy rainfall and all. So these things do happen, and it is because of the Andaman Sea. And these tropical cyclones, okay, they are very destructive in nature. Okay, the cyclonic climate that takes place, it is very destructive in nature, and it causes the thickly populated deltas, that is Godavari, the Krishna and the Kaveri, they are frequently stuck up by these cyclones, and it causes great damage to the life and the property. Okay, so people do lose their life, people do lose their property because of the cyclones that suddenly occurs. And there are largely populated area when it comes to the Godavari, the Krishna and Kaveri belts. So sometimes these cyclones, they arrive at the coast of Orissa, okay, and spreads towards West Bengal and even Bangladesh. And the bulk of the rainfall of the Coromandel coast is derived from depressions and cyclones. So it is totally caused due to the depressions and the cyclones here. Okay, it keeps moving there. So distribution of rainfall, how it is distributed. So during these days it has to happen like this thing. So parts of western coast and northeastern India, they receive over about 400 centimeters. So if you consider here, okay, the part of western coast, okay. So here western coast, if you consider this one, okay, even that, and northeastern India. So here, okay, northeastern India, okay, those these receive over about 400 centimeter of rainfall, but it is less than 60 centimeter in western Rajasthan. Here, if you consider Rajasthan, okay, so western Rajasthan, if you consider this area, okay, that will be very less, and even parts of Gujarat here, so few parts of Gujarat, it will get less than 60 centimeter. You can check over. Yes, you can see this. Can you see this? The colors. Okay, the colors itself determine like how much rainfall each area will be getting annually. Okay, the colors are mentioned there. You can just check it out. Okay, it is rainfall. Like when it comes to rainfall, it is equally low in the interior of the Deccan Plateau and east of the Sahyadris. So Deccan Plateau, if you consider here, and east of the Sahyadris and all, if you consider, so it is very less. Okay, low. It can be considered as very low. So why do these regions actually receive very low rainfall? That we have to know. That is, third area of low precipitation is around Leh in Jammu and Kashmir, and the rest of the country receives moderate rainfall here. Okay, so the snowfall is restricted to the Himalayan region, as you know, as we discussed earlier itself in the winter season. So the Himalayas is the one wherein we can see the snowfall there, and owing to the nature of monsoons, the annual rainfall is highly variable. Okay, it keeps changing from year to year. Okay, you can experience that from year to year, it keeps changing. Okay, and variability is high in the regions of low rainfall, such as parts of Rajasthan, Gujarat, and the leeward side of the Western Ghats. And areas of high rainfall are liable to be affected by floods. Areas of low rainfall are drought or prone. Okay, totally. See, if nature must be favorable. If we are going against nature, definitely nature will, definitely it hits us back. Don't take nature so easily. Now, if we are trying to destroy the nature, okay, definitely, nature will try to destroy us. Okay, so that is how it is. So like sometimes it would be total flood, sometimes it would be total drought. Monsoon, if you are considering as a unifying bond, you have known everything now. You have understood the distribution, how the rainfall is distributed, how the seasons are classified, how the winds move from one place to another, causing the destruction or causing the complement for a particular area. So now that you have known the way the Himalayas are protecting, as we did discussed, okay, so the Himalayas are protecting certain winds from entering from here, right? From here, if at all any wind like it is entering, that is prevented by the like the Himalayas, right? So the cold winds from Central Asia, if it is coming, all those are actually prevented from by this Himalayan region. So this enables the northern India to have uniformly higher temperatures when compared to other areas. So they will, because the winds are totally stopped from entering, so they will be having higher temperatures there, okay, compared to other areas there. And similarly, like the peninsular, when it comes to the peninsular plateau, under the influence of the sea from three sides, it has got moderate temperatures here. So despite such moderating influences, there are great variations in the temperature conditions. So you can face or you can feel the differences in the temperature, okay. So when it comes to the unifying influence of the monsoon on the Indian subcontinent, it is quite perceptible, okay, like you can imagine, you can understand like how it happens. The seasonal alteration of the wind system and the associated weather conditions provide a rhythmic cycle of seasons, okay, like because of the seasonal alteration, okay, you cannot experience the, you cannot think or you cannot have the same kind of weather every time. You experience a different kind of weather at different places and at different time, right? So see, weather is something like it is every day, every now and then you will experience, but climate is something wherein it is for a longer period of time. So for a longer period of time you will experience a particular thing. So even the uncertainties of rain and uneven distribution are very much typical when it comes to the monsoons, and the Indian landscape, its animal and plant life, nothing but the flora and fauna, its entire agricultural calendar and the life of the people, including their festivities, revolve around this phenomena, right? See, we get our those festivals, Ganpati, right? Ganesh Chaturthi, what we say, we celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi. It is like during the monsoon we do celebrate. Deepavali we celebrated during winter season. Dasra we do celebrate. We have Ramzan, we have Christmas, right? So all the festivities, it is totally depending upon the seasons. I said Baisakhi, right? So Baisakhi, they like not Indian people, they do enjoy that festival like anything. So it totally, they are having each and every area, like when it comes to India, as you all know, it is having variety, like unity in diversity. There is much more diversity, just like your weather. As the weather keeps changing, the agricultural system also depends upon that, and even there are seasonal industries that are depending upon the agriculture, and they do come only during those particular season. So you have season, you see, because of the season itself, even agricultural pattern do change, right? According to the season, they do come up with the products. There are even seasonal industries which depend upon the agricultural product. That's the reason all these festivities, all these things, it revolve around the phenomena of the weather, the climate itself. So year after year, people of India from north to south and from east to west eagerly await the arrival of the monsoon, because the monsoon is something which has to be experienced, and most of the agricultural products, it depends upon the monsoon. That's the reason monsoon is very much important. And these monsoon winds, it bind the whole country by providing water to set the agricultural activities. The river valleys which carry this water also unite as a single river valley unit. So that is how, the people do celebrate their festivities. They do depend upon these things itself. Apart from that, each and every place is experiencing its own climate, and yes, each and every area is important, okay. So they are having their own importance, they are giving their own importance, but yes, every person waits for the monsoon. The reason is, monsoon is something that brings happiness, right? And especially the farmers, they do wait for the monsoon season, because that is where they'll get their crops harvested and all, right? So like nothing but the growth and all you can see, then they get it harvested, right? So the total like crops and all, it depends upon monsoon sometimes. So that's the reason monsoon is considered to be very important. Dear students, with this we have finished the chapter climate. If you have any doubts, feel free to contact me and I can clear the doubts. Yes, you have to go through the chapter again and again so that you can understand the things very well. Just check check even the Indian maps which has been given, which has been they have given it in your textbook. Please go through that. You can understand the things very well there. Okay, thank you so much, dear students. Thank you for your patience. Have a wonderful time. Thank you.